Okay, I'm back. So let me tell you this. Okay, so lately I've been having like, can't, I mean, all my life I've been like, because I was talking to Paul this morning in the van and I was like, dude, finally answers to all these questions. Because growing up, I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna show my age. I don't fucking care. But anyway, I would always get like, report cards, and it would say needs improvement or use, remember the use in school, needs improvement, unsatisfactory, S negatives or whatever, for controls talking, because my teachers would get so mad at me because I would talk to whomever was around me, and then she would move my desk. Well, yeah, mainly she, because he's were more like, and when I was growing up, it was mainly a man was in the, I didn't really have a man teacher until probably I was like in high school, or one of my high schools. But anyway, or a coach. Um, but anyway, she would move me to like a corner, or away from the other students, and I would sit there and talk to the damn wall. Well, it makes sense now because I have ADHD, and I had no idea. And here I was thinking that I was just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or that I have always thought that I was just, I mean, honestly, I just always thought I was dumb or slow, because the way I thought, or I could, like I would forget things, or, and I would always tell my mom, I'm sorry, I forgot. And she was like, you always use that excuse, you forgot. But honest to goodness, I forgot. I legit forgot. But anyway, I was talking to my psychiatrist this week, and I kept explaining to her, um, because, okay, okay, all over the place, deal with it. So I had to go take what it was called a TOVA test, TOVO or TOVA. I can't remember. Um, Google it. But anyway, I I don't know about y'all, but when somebody says you're gonna go take a test, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna be answering questions. I'm gonna pen to paper, and I'm gonna be answering questions. No, 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 no. You're gonna be this test. You're gonna be sitting in a chair, which, ew, and you're gonna be staring at a screen, and you're gonna have this holding this little stupid clicker thing, click 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 click, um, and every time, okay, it shows you the directions, and it's like when you see the when you click the clicker, every time you see the little square at the top of this, at the top, oh my lord, um, at the top of the screen, and then click it, and then don't click it when you see it at the bottom of the screen, and don't assume that, don't figure out it's a pattern. So you have to do this for 20 fucking minutes, so you're losing your mind to begin with. Okay, so I don't know about you, but uh, I was having issues with that. So in my mind, okay, the main screen was black because it was like an old ass computer, old, old, like Oregon Trail computer kind of thing, and old. It was all black, and then there was a white box inside that, and then the little squares were black. So it gave me Willy Wonka Oompa Loompa vibes. So I was having a hard time concentrating on the squares going back and up, because there was no rhyme or reason to the squares. So here I was sitting here trying to keep track of these stupid squares and hitting the button at the same time and all this other stuff. And so in my mind, I'm thinking Oompa Loompa, Oompa Loompa, Oompa Loompa. So then I start singing the Oompa Loompa Doopy Dee Dee. And so I start singing it. And then I start rocking. And then I'm chewing gum. And then I'm looking out the window. And I'm doing all this other stuff. And so that was hell on earth. So then I'm like, okay. And then she comes back in there and she's like, now you've got to take the auditory part of the test. And I'm like, huh? So then she's like, then she shows me the other screen, and so then it's like green is the high note, red is the low note, and then you hit the button for the green note, and you don't hit it for the red note. And so, okay, cool. So then I'm thinking, all right, so I'm going to be looking for the green, not the red. Well, no, when she leaves the room, it's a black screen, and all you hear is notes. You hear a high note, you hear a low note. But I didn't see a red or a green, so now I'm having to sit there and listen to the notes to see which one's high, which one's low. And I can no longer sit still any longer, so now I'm getting up around the room and I'm swaying back and forth, and I'm still doing the Oompa Loompa. And it's just like, oh my gosh, no clue, no clue that I'm being recorded the entire time. So I probably made, you know, Psychology 101's greatest hits or something. So anyway, this week when I went to my, or when I had my appointment with my psychiatrist, she was like, I was like, well, how did I do on my test? And then she starts reading the test and she goes, oh my God, what in the world? And I'm like, what? Okay, what does that mean? And she goes, chewing gum, fidgeting, looking out the window, moving around. And I was like, okay, yeah. And she was like, I was like, well, how'd I do on the test? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, how many did I get right? And she's like, no, that's not part of the test. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no score. What in the hell? And so, anyway, the test is because you can't sit still, not because you can't concentrate on the stupid screen. And so, anyway, obviously, I have ADHD. So, and just to let you know, women, I don't know, men too, but men don't. I mean, most men don't go. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing not. Um, anyway, if you do have ADHD, and if you do, or you know about it, and if you do and you don't know about it, when you start hitting perimenopause, it goes into hyperdrive. So just know that you are gonna be like, what the fuck's wrong with me? And it's not just your hormones; it's your ADHD. So it's just gonna go into overdrive. Um, and you thought your fidgeting was something, then wait until you start going through all that. It's a craziness. So she's winging me off of one drug, putting me on another drug, non-stimulant, because I don't know how I could be handling myself on a stimulant. And anyway, it was so funny because she was telling me, she was like, she told me something about, well, when we wing you off this one drug, it's going to have a brain zap. And then I was like, a brain zap? And she goes, yeah, but it doesn't hurt. And I was like, a brain zap? Did you hear your words? And she was like, of course I heard my words. And so in the meantime, when she's sitting there talking to me, I start singing the Oompa Loompa song. And she's like, why are you singing the Oompa Loompa song? And I said, because you brought it to my attention again. And then the next thing I know, she blacked my screen so I couldn't see her, but she could see me. Well, she couldn't really see me. She saw the ceiling because I got tired of holding the phone up and down. But anyway, I was telling Paul that story today. He said she probably turned the thing off to laugh at you. I said she probably did. But then she did say, she was like, well, Lisa, what is wrong with you? And I said, well, that is your problem to figure out. So, has anybody ever done that with their psychiatrist or psychologist? Have y'all ever had that problem where they're like, what in the world is going on with you? Because, exactly, that's my dog Juno. So, have y'all ever had that issue? So, Paul's outside mowing the grass. I'm in the house bored. So I figured I'd make another video. Yeah. So anyway, in your 50s, diagnosed with ADHD. I'm happy that I figured out what's going on with me. But now I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway. Oh, and if you watch my videos and you don't like cussing, sorry, not sorry. Nothing I can do about it. I tried to hold that back for years, and it ain't me. So I'm just gonna be me, and you be you, and love who you want to love. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.